Good afternoon, fellow Res College peers. You're probably wondering why Grant and I are not here in person and dressed to the nines. That is because we are hardworking student athletes and have prior obligations. I am here now to discuss with Grant the impact of social networking in today's society. The social networking and media world is huge and has changed the way we interact with others drastically. That change has indeed affected our relationships and has created some major problems in our off-screen interactions. Grant, how are you this afternoon?
I'm well, Chris. How are you?
Just dandy. Alright, so I gotta ask you, does social networking serve to commodify knowledge and relationships?
Wow, Chris, you're smarter than I thought. Hitting me with a tough little question from the start. Well, Chris, to answer your question, we have to agree that people are not using in-person social skills nearly as much as they should be, and that this lack of use is causing a disconnectedness. Chris, when dealing with this topic, you have to keep in mind that teenagers are stupid. And because of this, it is so much easier to fall into what I like to call the social media trap.
But Grant, I really don't think there are any dumb teenagers at Bucknell.
Well, Chris, I know for a fact that I go on Facebook and Twitter way too much. It takes up time that I could be using for something way more productive.
Then tell me this, how do we not fall into this trap?
Well, Chris, we have to just learn to use social networking sites in a more mature way. The massive amounts of social media that we take in each day can be very detrimental to our young minds. We have to make sure we don't get caught up in the pressure of performing to our friends and society standards.
Wait, what'd you say? I was just updating my Twitter.
Unbelievable.
Whatever. My next question is this. What is lost in using social networking?
Chris, the main thing that is lost in using social networking is one's privacy. Privacy is becoming at a minimum nowadays, and a lot of that has to do with digital technology. With the internet and phone services being able to chart and keep track of everything one does, it allows others to have access on whatever you text, research, or look up. In class a few weeks ago, I know we all read a part of Alone Together by Sherry Turkle. In the article, she brings up the fact that someone could tamper with someone's email or Facebook messages and not get in trouble for it. But if that person was to tamper with someone's mail, then it is a crime. That, Chris, is ridiculous.
In chapter 14 of Turkle's book, she interviews teenagers about their relationships with their phones and computers and what they think are valuable and detrimental. She interviews a young girl by the name of Marcia. Marcia talks about how she does not like what the internet does to her. She talks about how the internet allows her to say whatever she wants whatever she wants to because she does not have to see the person's reaction. By this example, it is easy to see that people are losing the everyday social skills people used to have. Do you know of any other examples of this?
As a matter of fact, Chris, I do. Teenagers are getting a lack of attention from their parents these days because of social networking and technology. They are now forced to compete for attention in two places, and this is only making matters worse.
It's a shame that my tweets aren't loading fast enough. I'm trying so hard to have Justin Bieber retweet me.
Chris, SMH, man, SMH.
Hold up. Alright. Then tell me, Grant, how should teenagers cope with all of this wonderful social distractions like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram?
Well, Chris.
Hold up. Instagram pic. Thanks, man. Oh, didn't take. Awesome.
Chris, you are falling into the trap. What teenagers like you need to do is find more tangible things in life. Teenagers need a place of stillness where they can gather their thoughts alone and have some real mindful growth within themselves. With the number of distractions and social networking sites in our world today, it is becoming very difficult for teenagers to be cognizant of both their inner world and their outer media-filled world.
Okay then, my last question for you is this. Do you think that people are just weak-willed and can't keep away from the tantalizing social network? Or do you think that people should just be able to plain out not go on Facebook?
Well, that is a question that I can't really argue, and it really depends on a person. Well, what I do know is that the internet and all it has to offer plays a major role with teenagers in the way they receive knowledge and build relationships. As teenagers look to build their identity and personal values, the distractions of social networking could pose a major problem with the development of personal relationships.
Well, Grant, thanks for the interview. It was a pleasure talking with you.
Wish I could say the same, Chris. Thank you.